Good morning. As we said yesterday, we're going to do a formula, syrup formula for children and adults. The cold season is coming in the UK and the US, so we're going to do a video on of syrup for cold and flus, viruses, how to prevent measles, upper respiratory troubles for your children. All right. And before we go to do that, we have now someone in the UK. In case you need the herbs, in the UK we have our brother over there, Robert Grappy, and he's there. And if you want to get in contact with Robert Grappy, if you want to do the 5-day program or you want the herbs, we have Robert Grappy in the UK, and his number is 0781 255 4315 or 447922 990382. That's Robert Grappy. And if you want any herbs from the UK, you could call Robert and he will organize all the herbs for you, and then we could go on doing our program, okay? We're trying to set up something also in Miami. We're going to have somebody in Miami having all the herbs, so if you want anything within America, you could also call that particular number and that person will send you all the herbs that you need. All right? Secondly, I want to thank Margaret Palmer Figaro Dover. And Margaret, I want to thank you so much for trying to create this fund for us. But I want us to go a little further. I want us to create a fund where if we have some cancer patients that don't have the money to fix their problems, you could have that fund there, and some of the nutrients or some of the supplements and the herbs that they need, that they could get it without pain. So I want us to create a fund also, so we could help people who can't afford to get the care that they need. That is my agenda. So Margaret, I want to thank you very much again, and God bless you. And I hope that we could start with that endeavor of not only helping our people, but helping the children who are in need of help also. Blessed love to you, sister. All right. Now, we're going to do that syrup for cold and flus. And we're going to use some garlic. You're going to use 6 grains of garlic. Yeah. I'm going to use 1 piece of onion in the mixture. We're going to use 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, buffered vitamin C. Not vitamin C alone, buffered with calcium and magnesium to buffer it. pH stays 7.0. We're going to use, if the child is under 18 months, we're going to use some cane sugar. So what I did with the cane sugar is, I boiled the cane sugar and I put some cinnamon and some ginger in the cane sugar. That's if the child is under 18 months. And then we could use the cane sugar as a base with the garlic and stuff like that. If the child is over 18 months and the pancreas is now developed now, then we use some honey in the mixture. So if the child is under 18 months, the wet sugar, you boil the sugar, boil the impurities, and you put a little bit of cinnamon and ginger there, because ginger helps with the damp condition of the lungs also. And if the child is over 18 months now, you use your honey, right? And then I use a formula called lung formula, and in here is echinacea, golden seal, elderberry, lemon balm, all these herbs that are good for children in the cold and flu seasons. And we're going to put about 2 or 3 teaspoons in the mixture to help the child's immune system and also help the child's upper respiratory system and prevent measles or fever disease in the child's intestines, right? All right, so my daughter gonna come help me today. All right, she gonna come and put the garlic in there for me. Put all the garlic and let's throw everything in there for Daddy. Come, put everything in here. Boom, garlic. Yeah, take a teaspoon of 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. If the child is under 18 months, we use the cane sugar with the ginger. Everything in there. Wonderful. And you can use a 1/4 cup. And then we're going to put in some of the respiratory herbs in here for cold and flus. Echinacea, golden seal, lemon balm, elderberry, and all these herbs are antiviral, they're all antiviral and antibacterial, so they keep the immune system healthy. Yeah? And you're going to put a in there for Daddy. Hold on. Tell me that for me. Okay, you ready to start?
Yeah.
Go and stop. Go, stop. Boom. All right. And then we're going to do the blending now. Blend it for me. Now when we do that and we blend it up, you could take the mixture and then you could do a teaspoon. If you have a cold or a flu, you could do a teaspoon every hour if the cold is on already. And to prevent the cold and flus now, you take 1 teaspoon of the mixture. You take 1 teaspoon and you give your child. That's right. Woo! Good for you. And you give your child a teaspoon like every 6 hours, every 4 hours in the cold season. You understand? And if the child is under 18 months, you don't have to use the 6 grain of garlic. You use 2 grain of garlic. If you're an adult now, you use 6 grain of the garlic. Don't forget, if the child is under 18 months, you use 2 or 3 grain of the garlic. If the child is, if you're an adult, you use 6 grain of garlic, okay? And then you can use this every 4 hours, and you will see that the cold starts disappearing, and it also helps the immune system. It also helps any kind of viral infection, fifth disease, measles, and upper respiratory tract infection like asthma and bronchitis. This formula will do that for your children and for adults also. And again, give thanks and praise to the Most High, because He's the one that put all these herbs on the earth for us to keep us healthy. And that's why I feed my children these things to keep them well, so they don't get sick. They never see a doctor in their life yet. Right, baby?
Yeah.
Say bye-bye. Bye.